Video games are an incredibly powerful tool for telling stories, and in March 2022, I decided I was going to make a game to honor my grandfather. I had never made a game before, but I had spent some time in the video game industry as a quality assurance engineer, and
Triangle.
That's right, square hole.
So I got Unity installed and my project set up, and I guess you could say this was really the first time Firebyte Studios was born. Some of my favorite games I've ever played have been Firewatch, Dear Esther, Gone Home, and Until Dawn. If we break these games down into what they are and what they offer, every single one of them was story forward, and more or less a walking simulator. But the story presented was so captivating that it stuck with me for years after playing it. So my idea was simple. What if Firebyte Studios made games that dealt with real emotional trauma and told stories through gaming in hopes to bring social change and awareness? The Secrets of Hope was started as a way for me to tell my story and the story of my grandfather and his journey in dealing with stage 4 cancer. It's unfortunately a story that far too many people can relate to. It's a story-first game that focuses on exploring surreal and immersive environments while the player is looking for the next piece of the story. The scope of the game originally was really small. I had one scene and maybe 5 to 6 points of interest, and figured I would toss it up on itch.io for whoever wanted to play it. It by no means was my dream game, which so many developers on YouTube loved to toss around. But about 6 months into development, I did realize as I kept building that there was something really special here, so I decided to bring in my two best friends as partners to the studio, Nick and Chris. With 3 of us working on the game, the scope changed into a much larger game with multiple scenes and story arcs, and the decision to list it on Steam as Firebyte's first commercial release was kind of a no-brainer. Nick and Chris also share a similar story with me as they lost their grandfathers to cancer as well. And the more we shared, the more people started reaching out and sharing their stories with us. Then the news reached out to cover us, further solidifying that we were making a game for impact, which was the whole studio's original mission. So we decided to start modeling memorial cards into the game where people could share their stories for the players to find. And we're choosing to go against the normals of the video game industry, and we're taking a massive risk making the games that we make that deal with sensitive subjects and bringing them into the public eye. I'm very excited to share more development on the Secrets of Hope as we prepare for our launch in September, so maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. And remember, whatever it is you may be going through, try to never lose hope.